So hello and welcome to another episode of Scenes Forward. Today you join me out and about, and that's because I am at the Porsche Museum in Stuttgart. Now you probably know that Stuttgart is home to two famous brands, Porsche and Mercedes, both of who have museums here and as well as the plants. It's quite interesting to see the big plants that they have and all the development areas just round the side here as well. We didn't go venture into them, but it's obviously quite an active area and not just a museum. Now there's quite a few cars on display here, lots and lots of different cars, road cars, race cars, early cars, late cars, green cars, purple cars, all the cars you can imagine, and under various different colours as well. However, I've just picked out a few of the cars to have a little walk around and just give you an example of what's on display at the museum. Now if you like us and you're arriving by train, here is the nearest train station, and let me just show you how close it is. So here's the train station, and that big building you can see there pretty much dominates the skyline. That there is the Porsche Museum itself. So you start your journey through the Porsche Museum by going up what feels like this never-ending escalator. So once you actually have got off the escalator, you're greeted with this. Now this is the very first Porsche built. Now it's a 356, started as a project in 1947, didn't get the general operating permit until 1948 though. Now that original Porsche did develop into an actual model, and it is this, the Porsche 356 Coupe. Now this is a very rare car because only a few were actually bought. 44 were bought until 1950, and this happened to be one of them. Now moving on to 1960, and we have this 718 RS60 Spider. Now this is a bit of a stripped out, almost like a race car version of some of those earlier cars, and this particular one apparently is actually the ancestor to the modern Boxsters. Now in 1960 you could buy that Spider, but you could also buy this, and this is a Porsche diesel super tractor. Now I'm sure most people, not just car enthusiasts, will recognise this. Obviously it's the 911, very much still in production today and very much still following on from this model. However, what if you wanted a 4-seater Porsche 911? Well, this actually predated it. It was the Type 695 and was a 2+2 arrangement, but as you can see, sort of got the 911 diamonds, but a little bit different. Now here we have a 914S, but this isn't any 914 because it actually has an 8-cylinder racing engine from the Porsche 908. This was actually given to Ferry Porsche on his 60th birthday. So now we move on to an entry-level Porsche, and of course this is a Porsche 924. Now this started production in 1975 and was aimed at an entry-level model in comparison to the 911. So from an entry-level model to a high-end model, and this is a 959, apparently loosely based on a 911, but it has a bi-turbo engine. It also has things like all-wheel drive combined with ABS, and only 292 of these were ever made. So now we have a 911 Carrera RS. Now this particular one is obviously a very special one. It's slightly more aimed at a sporty market. Definitely if you're going to use it on track, you want to be using this car. So you may well be wondering what this E500 W124 is doing at the Porsche Museum. Well, that's because Porsche actually bought these cars on behalf of Mercedes. Now, during this time, Porsche were in a little bit of trouble in the sort of mid-90s. And they basically decided to come up with a new, smaller car, again another entry-level one. And this is the Porsche Boxer concept for 99p. And apparently got such a strong response, this actually led to Porsche putting the Boxer into production by 1996. So here we have a Carrera GT. Now this was meant to be Porsche's supercar, and it was basically their idea was to put a racing car on the road, and this was the result. Now this 917 race car has a bit of a story behind it. So this car was nicknamed the Fat Pig, and it actually got this paint job with all the labels that are on there, which is labelled portions of meat. So here we have a very extreme 911, very much race prepared. We have a 911 GT1 Evo. And looking at the display, you can see Porsche was sort of onto something here with their racing. Now, if you're a fan of the Disney Pixar film Cars, you'll recognise this. This is a character called Sally, who was a 911 in the film. And I can imagine Porsche have had quite a job making this character an actual car. Now, it's a really great time to go to the Porsche Museum because they are currently celebrating 50 years of Porsche Turbo. Now, they focus on a lot of displays on the 911, but obviously other models have carried that badge as well, including a lot of modern cars as well. And it was nice to see a few cars ticking 911 in the museum that it highlighted, and just nice to see the different generations of the Porsche Turbo. You can also make a song out of various car noises that we try to do. So what a fantastic couple of hours it was that I had at the Porsche Museum. Really enjoyable. I'm not the biggest Porsche fan, I must admit, but I actually really enjoyed it. Going to see some very rare cars, right from early cars to some modern cars as well. I'm particularly celebrating the 50 years of Porsche. So if you are in the area, if you're in Stuttgart, definitely worth going to see the Porsche Museum. You won't regret it. So thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time. Goodbye.